Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today's going to be a very interesting video. We are continuing Vlogmas with a little, little sit down chit chat video. And today we're talking about dating in your 30s. This is like a new type of video that I'm doing, and it's just like, let's talk about it, where we discuss and talk about some interesting topics. And they're going to be featuring a drink. And in today's video, the drink being featured is one of my newly favorite red wine. This is by 14 Hands, and it is the Merlot red wine. Y'all, this tastes bomb. So I've been trying out different red wines to kind of, advance my palate and get away from a lot of like the white wines or the sweeter wines. This one, Merlot, has been my favorite so far. I'm really enjoying it. So if you have a drink, go ahead, pause the video, go get you a drink, girl, because we're about to get into details about dating in your 30s. We're about to spill the tea, So I'm going to pour my glass and I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to stop it here. We're going to keep it cute. Oh. Okay, so let's get cozy. I have my wine. I have my little blanket here. I have my phone because what I did, I went on my Instagram and I posted a little story about wanting to know some tips, some stories, some red flags, some positive things, some not so positive things, your feelings about dating in your 30s. So I'll be discussing some of the responses, and y'all, there were some good ones. So I'm excited to get into this. Okay, so little background story about myself. I am 33. I am currently single. I wanted to know if other people felt the same way, because I feel like it's intimidating and it's a struggle. I'm gonna be honest, it's a struggle for multiple reasons. But let's just start off with some of these comments. So one of the very first ones that I saw, someone responded and said, "It's ghetto." Child, yeah, it can get pretty ghetto. I'm not even gonna lie. It's hard because I feel like when you're in your 20s, it's a time to be dating. You're still figuring out yourself and figuring out who you are interested in. And it's good to like kind of just date multiple people. And then when you're in your 30s, I feel like that's when we start to feel like we need to kind of like settle down and like find that one. But then as women, most women, I'm going to say most, I'm not going to say all, but we're more mature and we're ready to settle down. And then we come across some fellas who may not be on that same page, and it can just get ghetto. Like, a lot of time could be wasted. A lot of time could be wasted on the wrong person, and especially when you get too deep. We need to find some partners who are on our level, have like the same mindset as we do, the same expectations out of relationships as we do. So you have to just make sure like that's like your main focus. Okay, so next. This one cracked me up when I read it. Everyone is emotionally damaged from their 20s. Wait until your 40s. So yeah, it can be tough in your 20s, and I kind of like agree with this, at least personally for me. When it came like to dating and relationships, I was emotionally damaged in my 20s, and I'm trying to figure it out. But they kind of go along with like what I was saying, like in your 20s, you're still like figuring out things and finding yourself. And my advice, don't get too serious like when you're in your 20s. Like some of us, I ain't 20, but when we're in our 20s, some of us was still in school, some of us were just starting new jobs, some of us were still living with parents or not living with parents. But just take it easy. And when you get in your 30s, then you're more mature, and I feel like you have a better sense of what you want and what you're looking for. But that damaged part, yeah. And also, another tip, before you get in relationships or start thinking about getting in relationships, you know, check yourself. Like, if you did go through some stuff in your 20s, especially like in a relationship, you don't want to carry that baggage into your next relationship, because it just won't work. So just like how you want your partner, you know, not to have too much baggage and really be stable in their mental health and all that good stuff, like, you need to be the same way. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through a couple more. These are some good ones. Okay, so this is another one that cracked me up. And he said, "Are we doing this or not? Because I got to do." Pretty much sums it all up. Yes, I agree. That is my motto for my 30s and dating. Like, I don't have no time to be wasting on no games. I don't have time. It's like, look, I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to get this started, okay? Like, and if you're not on that same page, then dip, basically. So yes, I definitely feel the same way. Like, are we doing this or not? Let's cut to the chase. Yeah, let's take our time getting to know each other and things like that. Where I'm at is, if I'm showing interest in you, then this is not just for play and for fun. I am getting to know you with the intentions on starting a relationship, possibly, right? So my intentions isn't to like date you just for like quick pleasure. Let's be real here, okay? No, my intentions is to develop a committed long-term relationship, whatever that looks like to me and to my person who I'm showing interest to, okay? Like, we're not playing it. That was what, like I keep saying, that was what our 20s were for. Now, no, I'm looking for a husband. Cheers. Okay, so my girl came through with some really good advice, and she said, don't settle, keep your standards, period. And be open and try to make the process fun. Don't put too much pressure. If it don't work, don't force it. I love that. I definitely respect her comment and her tip. I feel like when we're in our 30s, we sometimes feel like we're running out of time. And that was another comment someone made. Like, being in your 30s, you feel like you're running out of time and you have that pressure to like find someone and get married and have kids and things like that. So we just need to like take that pressure off of ourselves, because we're not here to please anyone but ourselves and our future partner, you know? So I feel like when you put too much pressure on a relationship or a possible relationship, you kind of get started off on the wrong foot. I feel like you're not letting your guard down as much. You're not being open. It's just like a lot of stress that's entering the relationship. You're worried about what other people say, what other people think. Like, just breathe, girl. Breathe, and when it happens, it's going to happen. And just take your time. Don't worry about it. If that is the person for you, it's going to work out. And if not, keep it pushing. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, so shout out to you, because you gave some really good advice, and I really appreciate you for responding to my story. Okay, another person said, it sucks. It can suck. She also said, do not go past date one unless it's worth it. I completely agree. Like, we should not be wasting our time. And it's fun to like meet new people and to go on dates and things like that. Nothing too serious. If you see red flags in the beginning, please pay attention to those red flags and then keep it pushing. Don't think you can fix the person. Don't think you can be, you know, that one woman or man in their lives that can help them change. Like, no, it's not going to happen. One, the person's not going to change. They're going to be who they are. And two, you shouldn't feel obligated to try to change someone because at the end of the day, you want to fall in love and like spend the rest of your life with someone who is genuinely being themselves, and you want to also be yourself as well. You shouldn't feel like you need to change drastically for someone else. Now, I know there's a lot of things, a lot of like traits that we have that we could improve on, and that's totally fine, you know, because we still want to grow. But we're not about to be out here changing people's personalities. We're just not, okay? So if their personality don't fit yours, if their standards don't fit yours, if their wants, needs, if their priorities, all of that do not go along with yours, keep it moving. Child, I had to put that wine down because I started drinking it too fast. Okay, so let's do just a couple more. Let's see. Okay, so my girl came through. She was feeling it because she dropped some responses. Let me see. Okay, the men I have encountered are completely narcissistic, manipulative, and insecure. Okay, so she wrote a couple more comments, but I'm going to stop it right there and say these are horrible traits for any man, especially a grown man. Like, you're not about to be coming up in here and trying to manipulate the situation. Huge red flag, especially if you can't be comfortable with like voicing your opinion to that person, then red flag, you need to go. Or if they make you feel some type of way because of how you act or like your behaviors or your characteristics, nope, red flag, you need to go. Because you definitely should be able to be comfortable with being yourself around that person. And if they're narcissistic and insecure, honey, that is like recipe for disaster. No, we need our men to be secure, okay? She said, hold on, says I wasn't finished. They want to control everything. So dating for me is non-existent until I find someone that will let me do my thing. Yes, whatever that may be. Like, I agree. And I think that's like when trust comes into the picture as well. You have to like trust each other. Like, that was my thing when I started dating. I had got out of a relationship that really broke my trust, and I was going into this new relationship, and I told myself, I'm going to let my trust issues go. I'm not going to bring any trust issues into this relationship. I'm going to completely just let go and let God, honey. Yes. And it felt really, really, really good. And I didn't have any trust issues in that relationship. Like, it was amazing. Like, that part was amazing. And it was amazing for me. And I know it was amazing for him. I wasn't nagging, wondering where he was all the time. Just being insecure in myself and coming up with stories in my head. Yeah, nope, I let that go. And it was really, I think that's really healthy for anyone to do as well. And she said dating is non-existent until she finds someone that will let her do her thing. So that kind of brings up like a topic as well. So like, do you guys go on dates? Like, dating in a sense, just kind of like meeting people, getting to know people without it being like really serious, and going on a couple dates here and there. I don't know, talking on the phone a little bit, texting, whatever, nothing too serious. You're not in a committed relationship. And like, do you kind of just date to kind of, see what's out there, and then when you're interested, then you take it to the next level? Like, I feel like that would be like the ideal situation, is to date. And just because you're dating someone doesn't mean that you're in a relationship with them. So let's get that straight. Okay. But yeah, just dating. I think we should be able to do that and kind of meet people and see who we like. And then once we click with somebody and they click with us, then you take it to the next level. And then maybe you stop dating and just focus on that person until you guys agree to be in like a committed and faithful relationship. So girl, go on dates. Like, it's okay. Go on dates. And then when you find that one, then knock it down. Clink, clink. And let's see, someone says she wants one who's not, and a-hole and knows how to love. Girl, we all want that. We all want that and much, much more. I've ran into some guys who were a-holes, and I'm like, why? Like, you're not gonna get a girlfriend, you're not gonna find someone when you're a jerk, basically. And if you have salty feelings about relationships and dating, then you shouldn't be dating. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be doing it. I knew this guy, every time he talked, we would have conversations about like relationships, not our relationship, but just like in general, just having relationships in general. And he always had like a really like just negative outlook on women and always thought that they, instead of picking him, they would go for like these bummy dudes instead and things like that. And he was just like very like angry when talking about relationships, and that let me know like he had some self work to do, and maybe he was hurt in a past relationship and hasn't really like worked through those feelings and things like that. So, but I also felt like he really wanted to be in a relationship. To be honest, I felt like there was a lot of self-work that he needed to do before he can get into a relationship. And that brings me back to my point that I said in the beginning of the video. You have to work on yourself and get comfortable with yourself, get confident with yourself, and then it'd be a perfect time to kind of start like dating and looking for your boo. And then also like dating in your 30s. So I want to know, it's like online dating like a thing? Like, are we doing it nowadays? Like, I don't know, because like I said, I'm single, and if something happens, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is. I'm, like my homegirl said, I'm not putting no pressure on this, right? If somebody comes into my life, they come into my life. Awesome. But like, I'm a extreme introvert, right? So I'm not like going out to a lot of places a lot of times. So I'm like, where am I gonna meet my boo? Like, where am I gonna meet this person at if I'm not leaving the house? So I need to go out and do fun things with friends. And also another tip, when you are looking for someone, go to places where your ideal person, boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, your ideal person would hang out. So like if you are looking for someone who is a little bit more mature, I don't know, business savvy, someone who is more like laid back and not, running the streets and stuff like that. Maybe you don't need to be going to no club. Maybe you don't need to be going to no club looking for a boo. Like maybe go to like, I don't know, like a community event or something like that. Okay, so my camera cut off, and I have no clue where it cut off at, but I was just saying, when you're looking for someone, go to the places where your ideal person would hang out. So, like, if you want somebody who is, like, heavy in the community, go to a community event. If you want to avoid someone who, I don't know, parties a lot and is about that life, don't go to the club looking for your boo. Just don't, okay? So I think that's like a really good tip as well. Hang out at those places where your boo, your ideal boo, would hang out as well. Let me see. Oh, so we were discussing online dating, like dating websites. And I'm not talking about Plenty of Fish, honey. No. I'm talking about, I don't know, like Match.com and things like that. Like dating sites where you have to pay a good chunk of money to have profiles and interact with people on these dating sites. So how do we feel about those? Me personally, it kind of scares me a little bit to go on dating websites and meet complete strangers because your girl paranoid. Like, I don't have time to be putting myself in unsafe situations. So that part of it kind of really makes me nervous. But then on the other hand, I hear a lot of really positive stories and outcomes. And also, if someone wanted to do harm, would they really pay that much money just to have a dating profile? Maybe. I don't know. Or would they go on like Plenty of Fish where it's free? Okay, but I don't know. So that's something that I was kind of like thinking about too. Is like, is that a thing? Is there still a negative stigma to online dating websites? Okay, so I think that's like about it for this video. To wrap it up, I think dating in your 30s can be very difficult. The main reasons being the pressure it is for us to find someone to get married and build a family and things like that. I think society puts that pressure on us, and we also put that pressure on ourselves. Another reason is time. I think when you're in your 30s, we hit that stage where we do want to settle down, and we feel like we're running out of time, like to find someone, and we feel like all the good ones are taken, and things like that. So I guess that causes a lot of pressure as well. I know for women, we got that ticking time bomb, like where we need to have kids. If we want to have kids, now is the time to have those kids before we reach a certain age, and we're creeping up to that age. But yeah, so I guess like that affects it too. And like a lot of you guys said, it could be just kind of just ghetto and bad experiences because we want to settle down and find someone, but we're constantly running into people who are wasting our time and playing games. And we grown, we shouldn't be doing that. But on the positive side, I think we are at an age where we really are comfortable with ourselves, hopefully. We know ourselves, we know what we want, we know our priorities, and now would be like the perfect time to meet someone who kind of can complete us, or even better, lift you up, right? And just adds value to your life. So yeah, I mean, I love. Like I said in my 50 random facts, I love everything about love, and I'm very hopeful for love in my future. I'm excited to see what's in store for my future relationships and things like that. So yeah, I hope you guys like this little chit chat. And don't forget to like this video, comment below your views or your thoughts on dating, even if you're not 30. Whatever age you are, let me know, like, what do you think? And how's it going for you if you are kind of like in the dating scene, or even if you're in a relationship? What's some tips, sis? How did you get there? How did you find your perfect boo? We all want to know, right? So yeah. So anyways, like I said, thank you guys for stopping by my video. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow in our next Vlogmas video. Merry Vlogmas! Bye, you guys.